It's me, Abdurrahman again, and today we are going to discuss about how to add and subtract fractions with unlike denominators. So let's begin. Now in the last video we discussed how to add and subtract. We already discussed how to add and subtract, but we didn't discuss how to add and subtract with unlike denominators, right? We only discussed how to add and subtract with common or same or like denominators. So I would like to start with addition. Let's begin. Now, as you can see, here's an expression 1 by 2 or 1 over 2 plus 1 over 3 or 1 by 3. So we have to solve this, right? Now, this might be kind of interesting. As you can see, the denominators are different. So you might think about the old way, right? Before, we used to, when they were same denominators, what we did was we just added the numerators together and we did nothing to the denominator, which in our case is 2, right? And there we have it, 2 over 2. So this is how we solved before. But now we have different denominators. We have 1 over 2 and 1 over 3. So you might be confused which one of these should we pick. Should we pick 2 or should we pick 3? So that question might be in mind, and the answer to that question is we're not going to pick 2 and we're also not going to pick 3. Now the number which we are going to pick is going to be 6. Now it might sound a bit random that we're going to pick 6 rather than 2 and 3. Well, that's not random because that is the least common multiple, or LCM for short, of 2 and 3. Right? Of 2 and 3. So that means that let's write some multiples of 2 here. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and so on. We'd write more if we need to later. Then the multiples of 3 include 3, 6, 12, then 16, then so on. Right? Sorry, 15, not 16. So we're going to, 15. So now as you can see, already this might be very, senseful to you that the multiples, so first we have to find the multiples of these two numbers, then we have to find the common ones among them, and then we have to find the least one from those common ones. So let's see if it works. So here is the first common multiple, which is 6. Then the next common multiple is 12, right? 12. Okay, now here is written least common multiple. So why do we choose the least common multiple? Can we choose or can't we choose the bigger number, which is 12 in our case? Well, the reason is that mostly schools and other math, whenever there's math exams and stuff, most people consider the least common multiple, and it is also the easiest way using the least common multiple. So now you might understand the math behind it, but what is the logic behind this, right? Everything has a logic behind it, right? So well, the logic is also pretty simple. As you can see, here's an image of 1 by 2, right? And here's an image of 1 by 3. So it's an image of 1 by 2, and this is an image of 1 by 3. So the total parts, as we have learned earlier, the total parts is the denominator, and the selected part is the numerator, right? So the total part the total part is the denominator. Total parts is the denominator, and the selected part is the numerator. So 3 is the denominator, and 1 is the numerator, and 2 is also the denominator, and 1 is also the numerator. Okay, so the answer, so as you can see in the other picture, this is, as we've learned equivalent fractions before, this is the same thing. This right over here is the same thing as 1 by 2, right? It represents the same fraction, right? Same amount of area, right? Same area. Like, even though it's divided into more sections, even though it has more sections, it's divided into it's divided into a few more sections than the old one. Still, it is the same. It represents the same fraction. It can represent the same fraction. So that means that 1 by 6, right? 1 by 6. So this is the same fraction? Well, no, because as you can see here, 3 parts. 3 parts are selected when we divide, right? When we divide it into 6 parts, 3 parts are selected from the 6 parts, rather than just 1 part selected from 3 parts are selected, right? So 3 of the parts are selected, so that's why the numerator is also changing. The numerator is also gonna be 3. So the numerator is gonna be 3, the denominator is gonna be 6. So our 1 by 2 here is the same thing as 3 by 6, right? Now we do the same thing for 1 by 3. We divide it into 6 equal sections, and there we have it. 2 of those equal sections would be selected if you want to divide it into 6 equal sections. So 2 of those would be selected. So 1 by 3 is also the same thing as 2 by 3, or 2 over 3, right? Now it's pretty simple. Sorry, not 2 over 3, 2 over 6. Now it's pretty simple to solve when you have equal denominators or same denominators, right? So now all we have to do is that we have to write it as 3 by 6 and plus 2 by 6, which would be the same thing as, of course, 3 plus 2 by 6, which is 5 by 6. So there you have it, addition of fractions. Now, how to subtract fractions? So here's how. Now let's take the same example. 1 by 2 minus 1 by 3. So here some of you might be thinking that 1 by 2 is smaller than 1 by 3, and it's not, because the denominator is different. The denominator is different. 1 by 2 is larger than 1 by 3. Okay? So 1 by 2 is always larger than 1 by 3. And let's see how to calculate this. Well, the calculation system is the same as how we did for addition. Just we have to subtract instead of add, right? So we have to still find the least common multiple, or LCM, of these two numbers, which in our case is 6, as we found earlier, right? So the LCM, or least common multiple, is 6. But if you don't want the value to change, we have to change the numerator, right? So we have to change the numerator to 3. As you can see, there are 3 parts in here as well. So I have to change the numerator to 3. Now once the numerator is changed to 3, I have to do the same thing to the other number, 1 by 3, right? So I have to write the denominator as 6. Then I also have to change the numerator, which in this case is 2. So the numerator is 2. Now we just have to subtract them, which is just 3 by 6 minus 2 by 6, which of course equals 1 by 6. So it equals 1 by 6. So there you have it, subtraction of fractions. Now that's all for today. So let's jump on to summary. So we have learned that whenever the least common multiples of the denominators, like we have to find the least common multiple of the denominators whenever we are adding or subtracting fractions, and then we also have to change the numerator according to a denominator, and then we just have to add them the usual way, which is we just have to add the numerators together and leave the denominator at the common denominator. So that's how to add and subtract fractions. It's me, Abdurrahman. See you soon.